working to get that back. But again, we do expect to hear from him any minute now, and we will bring that to you live. He was just acquired in a trade over the weekend in exchange for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, in exchange for Cole Anthony and a number of first-round draft picks as well over the next several years. So a lot went into this. The Magic hoping that this will be a big move for them and help them take that next step in the playoffs. They need some more consistent offense, and believe they have a new shooter in Desmond Bane. So we will hear from him in just a few minutes. Again, we will bring that to you live as it happens. We're also going to talk with Politico Florida. Our friend Gary Fineout joining us to talk about the state budget. Lawmakers in Tallahassee last night working overtime, not adjourning till nearly midnight. It was after 11 p.m. when they finally had that final vote approving those final appropriations bills in Tallahassee. What's in them, what isn't in them, what will the governor do, and what's next for the discussion about property taxes. We will talk about that in just a little bit. Also, controversy in Miami today over an immigration enforcement deal. This is one of those 287G agreements that the city of Miami is considering entering into with ICE, the task force model when it comes to immigration enforcement. They have a commission meeting, city commission meeting, started at 9 a.m. and has been going for hours. A lot of it with public comment that stretched for several hours as well. Finally, after 1 o'clock, they said they still had a line of people out the door waiting to speak. And so they break for lunch and are coming back, I believe, at 3 o'clock to start back. So we will take you inside that meeting, though, and play some of that public comment for you. A lot of controversy over what's happening there in Miami. While we're waiting on the Orlando Magic news conference to start in just a couple of minutes, we want to give you an update now on the push to bring Major League Baseball to Orlando. Yesterday, Fox 35's Randy Hildreth spoke with Dr. Rick Workman. He is the president and anchor investor of the Orlando Dreamers. That's the organization that is trying to bring professional baseball to the City Beautiful. He and some of the other officials with that organization spoke yesterday at the iDrive Chamber of Commerce meeting about their plans and what's next. After that, he sat down with Randy Hildreth to talk about the push to bring Major League Baseball to Orlando, and also what's next, the next steps in getting support from the city of Orlando and from Orange County. Here's some of that conversation between Randy Hildreth and Dr. Rick Workman.
The Dreamers, as an example, they've had to get their own equity stack in place. That'd be myself and John Morgan predominantly, but there's going to be other investors. They had to get the stadium financing aspect done. Jim Snorf has done that amazingly well. That's in place, and that's a big thing. In other words, you have nothing until you have that. And now then, the next logical thing is to pivot and make sure we've got enough of exactly what we need to be able to go, as an example, to the mayor's office or to the commissioners and say, listen, this is us, this is who we are, there's a real chance of this. We don't need you to give us money in advance. We don't need you necessarily to tell us in advance exactly what all you may do, but Major League Baseball, in order to take us that last level of seriousness, is going to need to know that if we're awarded a franchise or we're able to purchase a franchise, that the stadium deal will include a public-private partnership, because that's an MLB requirement, not necessarily the owner's requirement. I'm cautiously optimistic, having never spoken with the mayor, having never met with the mayor, but I think in the next few weeks we will have the chance to speak to him. We will have a chance to show him what we have and what we know that is going on. And I think I'm optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic that we will be able to explain to him and show to him that this would be a once-in-a-lifetime positive opportunity.
I know that there are like two timelines going on. So I know we have the conversations in Tampa, and then the timeline for speaking with county leaders. When would you like that?
Well, we want to get that. We want to. It's a high priority now to speak with the commissioners and the mayor and so forth. So I would anticipate that in the next 1, 2, 3 weeks that opportunity will come. I anticipate when people have started.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, here's the newest member of the Orlando Magic, Desmond Bane, just walking up. Let's go ahead and listen in here. As for that Rick Workman interview, you can find the full thing right now on Fox Local. Let's go ahead and listen in as the newest member of the Magic speaks to the media.
It's been moving fast. I was on vacation in Destin, Florida. So I was already in the state, which made it a little easier to get here, but it's been great, man. I mean, obviously leaving everybody behind in Memphis will be tough. I made some really good relationships and friendships there that won't end there. You know, I mean, we'll continue to talk and stay in touch, but I'm super excited to be here. I mean, all the guys, they've reached out and hit me up. The front office, support staff, everybody's been real supportive, and you can tell there's an excitement in the air. As well as expectations, you know, and expectations are healthy, and you know, I feel like we have the roster to be able to do some really special things. So I'm excited and looking forward to the new chapter.
What's your impression of the talent that you're joining? You know, the guys that are on the team.
Super talented. You know, it's different than Memphis, but we were the young and up and coming team as well, and it's a great place to be. You know, obviously Paolo, Franz, Jalen, Wendell, Tristan, Anthony Black. You can keep going all the way down the list of these guys, and you know, I got a chance to play against them, not a ton, coming from the Western Conference, but it was always tough to put the ball in the basket against them. I'll tell you that. They guard, and you know, I think I'll fit right into what they're trying to do on that end, and hopefully help out a little bit, you know, on the spacing front on offense.
You mentioned in a tweet years ago that this facility is what Memphis needed, but now that you're here, you see this facility. How special is this whole entire setup you guys got here?
It's different, bro. The one in Memphis, we ain't have not one window, you know. So it's yeah, like we joked around and called it the dungeon, you know. But it's a breath of fresh air. I mean, you can step outside and get a breath of fresh air and eat on the patio. I mean, there's indoor, outdoor training facility. You know, all the bells and whistles are in here, and it's great, but I feel like the people is really what's going to make this place special.
Watching from afar, what did you see about the Magic, whether it was playing against them over the years, that you really liked?
I mean, I think it's the physicality. Don't back down from anybody. They're extremely versatile. I mean, having 2 6'10" guys that can put the ball on the floor. A guy like Jalen Suggs, who tenacious, you know, on both ends of the floor, high motor. Wendell can stretch the floor and shoot. I mean, it's just versatility everywhere. So I think that's what you need. You know, you see the teams in the playoffs that are still competing. They have guys on the floor that can do multiple things at a very high level and play extremely hard. And the Magic have both of those things. We have both of those things.
How does that fit you as you begin to think about how you kind of fit in with this group? Does that describe how much does that describe how you?
I think that's my DNA. You know, I think that I'm a gritty guy. You know, that's how I've made it to this point. I mean, you look up and down the roster, and we all have similar makeups. Their arms might be a little bit longer than mine, but apart from that, man, I think we're very aligned.
What are your impressions of Coach Jamal Mosley?
Cool cat. Like I think that's the best way to put it. Like, seems like he's really a player's coach. Puts the guys first, puts himself in our shoes, and gives us freedom. That's the thing that every player wants is freedom. He's going to empower us to be ourselves out there. Like, I asked him, like, yo, coach, what you want from me? He said, be you. Off the court, on the court, be yourself. Like, and that just gave me, you know, the ultimate confidence that this is going to be a great fit and great spot for me.
You're famous for being strong and gritty. I see it looks like something special on your wrist. Can you talk about that?
Which one?
The letters there.
This? Love yours?
No, your bracelet.
This one?
Yeah.
This one says Baneville on it.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, that's the neighborhood that I was raised in. I was raised by my great grandparents, and they both passed my rookie year. during COVID. So it's just like a little remembrance. This is my AAU team. I got a nonprofit foundation. We're running a AAU program out of Indiana, where I'm from, and that's the name of the team. And one of the team moms made them for everybody. So if she's watching, she'll be happy that she's getting a little shout out right now. I know she worked hard on these.
When you see what the Magic
gave up a lot of potential for you, 4 first-round picks, do you kind of embrace that, or how do you embrace the expectations they have for you?
It's time to win. You know, I mean, it's pretty much simple as that. You know, if we do what we're supposed to do, those, not to say the picks were invaluable, but they would have fell in a place that, you know, we have, like I said, we got a lot of young talent here already in the building, and we have a lot of talent at the top of the roster. So I think it's a perfect time, you know, for the organization to do what they did. And I mean, I was talking with my agent prior to everything going down after the season ended, and you know, if there was ever any chance I get traded, like, where's some of the spots you want to go? And I mean, I promise you, Orlando was right at the top of the list. So it's a perfect fit.
Desmond, did you get insulted at all that you hear Stephen A. Smith say the Magic gave up too much?
No. I'll just say I'll just say no. No, leave it at that. My first day on the job.
Yesterday, Jeff Waltman, you know, said that you were highly regarded from the people that he talked to around the league. Just, you know, as a person, complimenting you as a person and as a player. Just, what can fans expect from you as a person and a player?
I want to get to know them. I want to get out in the community, and I felt like I did a decent job of that in Memphis, and it changes your perspective on it. You know, you got to turn this place into home. Like, I want to be able to go out to the grocery store and see people that I know and have genuine relationships with them. So I think that they're going to get loyalty, honesty from me from the start.
This is still a fairly young roster, and you've had probably more playoff experience than everyone. You know, this team's been in the playoffs the last 2 years. What can you impart? You know, having been part of a team that's won a playoff series, been part of a team that's been a 2 seed in the West, or a top seed in the West. What can you impart to this young group as they prepare to grow and really focus on winning as the main goal?
It's hard. You know, it's extremely hard to win in this league, especially when at a high level. And it starts with your process. You know, your day-to-day process, the way you approach, you know, your workouts, the way you approach what you're eating, how you're sleeping. All those things are extremely important on the path to success. And I'm sure they already have a lot of that, but I'm going to come in here and stick to my roots and hopefully lead by example.
That number 3 is fitting for a guy that's been one of the best in the last 5 years at shooting 3 ball. Just how do you help this team that desperately needs help in that 3-point department?
Do what I've done my whole life. You know, I mean, make shots. You know, and I think that'll be enough.
Last year, Mikal, when he got traded, he was, I think, vacationing with you, or at your
yeah, he was at the. It was crazy.
Is there like a curse now on this house that you got?
Nah, this one wasn't at that house, but yeah, it might be like it. 2 summers in a row, you know, there's trades going down since I got the crib. So,
what have your colleagues said about just being traded and how that feels and what that means for you in your career?
Every situation's different, you know. I mean, I'm super thankful that I landed here. My agent, or not my agent, my general manager, like, was telling me that I was getting traded, and before he told me where I was going, my heart sank, just because, you know, there's 29 other teams outside the Grizzlies that I could have ended up. And once he said Orlando, I mean, I was smiling through the phone. You know, I wasn't trying to be disrespectful, like I was moving on from Memphis that fast, but I was genuinely excited about the new opportunity.
Obviously, the number 22 is taken here in Orlando. Is there any significance behind choosing number 3?
Nah, I was thinking about 9. That was the day my grandma passed, but I just decided to go with 3. Shoot a bunch of threes. I mean, I guess that's about as far as it gets.
How motivating is memories of your family, and what are some of the other factors that motivate you?
Yeah, that's what drives me. You know, I mean, they were both retired. You know, when they took me in, so they put a lot of time and effort into me that they didn't necessarily have to. You know, my grandpa's one of them ones that was up cutting the grass, trimming the hedges. My grandma, she did like alterations and stuff like that. So they stayed extremely active, you know, on top of all my sports stuff. So I think like my work ethic and just like my character really comes from them. So carrying that on.
Have you had any conversations with Paolo and Franz and everybody yet? What are those conversations been like?
I talked to Paolo just briefly. I want to get to connect with him, whether he's in Seattle or wherever he's at, link up with him for a weekend, and we can get in the gym, but low-key put basketball to the side, just get a chance to know him as a person. Me and Franz have talked, asking him what he think about where he stays at and stuff like that, just trying to get a feel for the city. So I'm excited to connect with all the guys. I think it's extremely important. The times that we were really good in Memphis, our togetherness was off the charts. So I think that's got to be priority number one.
Memphis is, emphasized grit and grind culture. Orlando has a similar culture, but it's definitely defensive first. What do you think about defense being a huge part of this identity and what you bring to that?
Yeah, I mean, both teams playing in the finals right now are scrapping their butt off on defense. So I think that it's no secret that you have to be a good defensive team to get to where we're trying to get to. So I'm going to fully embrace it, embody it, and like I said, whatever the team needs to win, I'm more than willing and capable.
What are your plans between now and training camp to get training live?
I mean, I've been working on my body a lot early in the summer. I've been getting on the court sporadically. After like 4th of July is when I'll kind of start picking it up and ramping up a little bit. But like I said, I would love to, whether it's we could go meet anywhere, like, and try to get the guys together, just to hang out, stay in touch or whatever, and get connected prior to training camp.
Hey, when you look at the finals, these young teams, up and coming teams in the finals, where do the Magic now with you fit in? I mean, is it wide open? Are you guys in that conversation?
I don't see why not. I haven't been in the East, so I can't speak to it as much as y'all probably can. But I think that, I mean, if you just look at our roster and our team, that we stack up right there with anybody.
The Shaq and Penny days, they call the heyday around here. They just went back to a different logo with the pinstripes back to those days. Did you grow up watching some of that, and is it motivating to you that you're the first one to come in here to push that forward?
1,000%. I'll never say I was a big Magic fan, because that's not the truth. But I definitely, followed and was a fan of their success and stuff like that. But it's super exciting. It's a new era. Make some new memories and push this thing forward back to the success they had in the past.
What team were you a fan of growing up?
I can't say. I can't say. I'm embarrassed to say.
Is everybody good?
Good.
I think so.
Appreciate it.
Okay, Jamal's on his way down.
Desmond Bane there in his new Magic jersey. You see that number 3 on the back there, speaking to reporters after being acquired by the Magic. In that trade over the weekend, sending Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Cole Anthony, and a lot of draft picks to Memphis in exchange for Bane, who hopefully will help provide an offensive spark and some more consistency when it comes to shooting, as the Magic look to take that next step and make it further in the playoffs. We're going to take a break here on Florida Live, but we'll be right back after this. Welcome back into Florida Live. I'm Garrett Wymer, and thanks for joining us on this Tuesday afternoon, live on Fox Local and on YouTube. It is time now for our Tampa Connection, and for that, we go to Fox 13 digital content producer Nancy Gay. And Nancy, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Garrett. We're actually going to start today with some exciting sports news. So over the weekend, the Tampa Bay Sun FC won the USL Super League Championship. And not only are we getting a glimpse of a proposed women's soccer stadium, we also just got details about a boat parade that's planned for tomorrow for the team. Now, this boat parade is something that Tampa started doing for winning sports teams during COVID. We've had boat parades for the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Tampa Bay Bucks, and tomorrow the Tampa Bay Sun FC will celebrate their big win on the Hillsborough River. So fans, including Tampa Mayor Jane Castor, will gather tomorrow at Amateur Works around 1 p.m., and the team is expected to arrive by boat around 2 p.m. Now, as I mentioned, that is just the first part of the exciting news we have about the Tampa Bay Sun FC. The second part is that today we got a sneak peek at what a proposed women's soccer stadium in Ybor Harbor may look like. Now, under this plan, the state-of-the-art stadium would seat about 15,000 people, and it would also include a boutique hotel on the waterfront at Ybor Harbor. Now, Ybor Harbor is a planned 33-acre mixed-use waterfront development that would connect Channelside with downtown Tampa and Ybor City. So Tampa business leader Daryl Shaw, he is the lead developer of Ybor Harbor, and he's also the majority owner of the Tampa Bay Sun FC. Now, plans are also in the works to house the USL's headquarters at Ybor Harbor. Now, right now, there is no timetable for potential construction of the stadium, nor is it known how much the stadium would cost, and officials are saying that it is too early in the process to know any of those details. Again, this is just some of the proposed renderings that you were looking at right there. But again, this was a big win for the Tampa Bay Sun FC. And as I mentioned, we are having a boat parade tomorrow afternoon in their honor, beginning around 1 p.m. at Armature Works, the true Tampa Bay style. Garrett?
All right. How about that? Exciting times ahead for Tampa Bay Sun FC, it sounds like.
Yes, definitely. And this will be the first time that a women's team is being honored with a boat parade in Tampa, so that's just making it all the more special.
All right. Try to have hopefully have coverage of that tomorrow on Florida Live here. Let's go to story number 2 and a dispute over unpaid wages.
Yes, that's right. So deputies say Rajesh Greenlee confronted his former employer at a construction site on Saturday about an ongoing money dispute. There is something deputies are saying this dispute is over unpaid wages. Now, during this encounter, investigators say Greenlee pulled out a handgun and pressed it to the victim's forehead, threatened to kill him, and he even fired a round. Now, that round narrowly missed his ex-boss. Now, after the shooting, deputies say that Greenlee forced his way into the victim's home, damaged about $1,000 worth of property, and even stole a nail gun before leaving. Detectives said that they quickly identified Greenlee as a suspect and issued a warrant for his arrest. Now, Greenlee was taken into custody 2 days later in Pinellas County with the help of the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. Garrett?
Story number 3, another interesting arrest, this one in Polk County.
Yes, that's right. A Chicago police officer has been arrested at a Polk County resort. Now, we're being told that this all stemmed from an argument he had Friday night with a security guard at the Westgate River Ranch Resort. Now, Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd said Dwayne Ocasio was among a group of people who were around a golf cart that was in the middle of the road Friday night, and that's when a security guard asked the group to move the golf cart out of the way. But instead of moving, Judd says Ocasio used a racial slur, and then he actually pushed that security guard. Now, he also told the security guard, according to the Polk County Sheriff's Office, that he was a police officer in Miami, but in reality, he worked for the Chicago Police Department. Now, when deputies found Ocasio in a room at the resort, Sheriff Grady Judd said he refused to come out, and after about 10 minutes of knocking on the door, deputies were identifying themselves as people with the Polk County Sheriff's Office, Ocasio could be heard from inside the room saying he doesn't give a blank about what the Polk County Sheriff's Office is or who the Polk County Sheriff's Office is. So obviously that did not sit well with Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd, and eventually deputies were able to arrest Ocasio, and the security guard even identified him as the attacker. Now, during his morning briefing, Grady Judd said that Ocasio now knows who the Polk County Sheriff's Office is because he was put into the Polk County Jail. Ocasio was charged with battery, and records show that he has bonded out. Garrett?
And finally, Nancy, learning more about a jet ski crash over the weekend.
Yes, that's right. This jet ski crash involved 4 individuals, and this crash, we're not sure what happened, but it did crash head on. And we are learning from officials with the Baltimore Orioles that the 4 people involved in this crash were a part of the team's minor league system. Now, the FWC said that each jet ski had 2 people on board, and as I mentioned, they collided head on Sunday night, sending all 4 people into the water. Good Samaritans helped the 4 people get back to shore. Now, 2 people on board one jet ski suffered minor injuries, but the operator and the passenger on board the second vessel were taken to an area hospital for treatment. Now, in a statement sent to Fox 13 on Tuesday morning, the Orioles said players from their Florida Complex League affiliate were involved in the crash. And their statement said, on Sunday afternoon, some of our players were involved in a jet ski accident in Sarasota, Florida. Due to the circumstances, Monday and Tuesday's FCL games have been postponed. For the privacy of our players and their families, we will not share additional details at this time. Now, again, officials have not said what caused those 2 jet skis to crash head on. We also do not have any information about the conditions of those 2 people who were taken to the hospital. So there's definitely a lot of questions still left unanswered, Garrett.
Well, a scary situation, and we certainly hope those 2 who were taken to the hospital are going to be okay. Fox 13 digital content producer Nancy Gay, we appreciate you joining us for our Tampa Connection.
Thank you.
We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. Thanks for watching Florida Live. I'm Garrett Wymer, and welcome back in. It was a late night to cap off a long legislative session in Tallahassee, but shortly before midnight, lawmakers in the House and the Senate had passed the budget. And so now it goes to the governor's desk, and we wait and see what he has to say about it, what line items he may want to veto, and that kind of thing. I talked about it this afternoon with Gary Fineout, a reporter for Politico, Florida. We talked about the budget, we talked about the property taxes, and we talked about where things go from here.
Yeah, well, only took 105 days to get there. Normally a session is 60 days, but this time it took quite a bit longer. But yes, they are finally done. And now we get to see what the governor does and whether or not he's going to use his veto pen as he has in the past, where he's a lot of times taken out a lot of odd items in the budget.
Let's talk a little bit about the contents of the budget and what kind of stands out to you. What sticks out to you?
Well, I think what stands out in one big fashion, of course, it's a smaller budget than last year, considerably smaller, and then sort of what they wound up doing in the sort of the tax arena. You know, maybe people have caught the news and talk about property taxes and big sales tax cuts and stuff like that. And in the end, none of that happened this year. Instead, there's going to be, for most Floridians, it's going to be some modest savings. You know, there's going to be a month-long back-to-school sales tax holiday that's going to be permanent from now on. It's going to be the same time every year. There's, you know, things like batteries are now no longer going to have taxes, and disaster supplies and stuff like sunscreen and things of that. So there's a lot of little stuff like that, but we didn't get the really big, you know, huge things. And then, you know, and then there's some, you know, they did put in some funding, more funding for education. It's going to be interesting though to see how that all sort of translates and transmits down to school districts. One of the things they did is they're actually relying on more property taxes to help pay for schools in the coming year. Most people may not realize that while your property taxes are charged locally, school districts have to take in a certain amount of money from property taxes in order to get matching money from the state. And so this year the legislature said, we want you to sort of charge a certain amount, and it's kind of an interesting decision to make when there's been all this talk about how high the property taxes are. So those are some of the things that do stand out to me. There's lots of other little things like there's going to be a DOGE effort at the local level that's going to be directed by the governor's office. A couple other big things they did is they did put a lot of money in reserves, one of the main budget reserves, and they also dedicated more money to sort of buy down debt that the state has. And it's interesting that they're doing all that, and you know they're talking about how they want to be prudent, but there's sort of an acknowledgement that the economy may go south in the near future, and they are taking steps that could sort of help them weather any storm.
You talked about the length of this session. It was it took a long time for this budget deal to come together. Why do you think things were so difficult during this year's session?
Well, I think it came down to is the fact that you had one chamber that sort of wanted to kind of stay the course, and they wanted to kind of, you know, have spending levels and dedicate money to programs that was not in line with the other chamber. I mean, basically you had the House was very insistent upon cutting the budget and spending less. And, you know, initially they tied it to this big sales tax rate reduction, which ultimately did not pass. But the final budget is considerably smaller. And you had the other chamber that wanted to, I mean, there was Senate President Al Britton had a program called Rural Renaissance, which in essence was an economic development program aimed at rural counties. That didn't pass, and he had to give that up in sort of brokering a deal with the House. So what the other big thing that happened is that they reached an initial deal on tax cuts and spending back in early May, but then the Senate broke away from that deal after Governor DeSantis indicated that he may veto the tax cut that the House was talking about. So that sort of just added to the mix and the uncertainty. And it just took a long time for them to sort of come together on where they all felt comfortable with the amount of tax cuts and the amount of spending in the final bill.
Any indication or any idea what the governor might do with this? Anything? Has he hinted at any aspects of this that he would line item veto?
Well, I think the governor did previously indicate that he was dissatisfied with some of the things that the House was doing. And so we'll see. He's on a trade mission to Paris right now. He does have a quick turnaround. The end of the fiscal year is the end of this month, so he does need to act on the budget relatively quickly. But, this governor in the past has been, very willing to use his veto pen and to slash a lot of spending. So I think the question is, how is that all going to play out? As I mentioned, it was a bumpy relationship between the governor, especially in the House, over the last several months. So is he going to show his displeasure with their resistance to parts of his agenda? And that's what we're going to have to wait to see. And then what's interesting is I also, there's some gallows humor, I guess, for lack of a better word, that there's some legislators you think, well, we might be coming back here soon. Because the governor does have a penchant at times for calling them back into special sessions when there's other things that he wants.
I know you had the chance to speak with the Senate President and the House Speaker as well about the property tax issue, which sounds like things are alive for that for the next session.
Well, so we've been told. I mean, certainly it is now a very elevated issue. They've all talked about it. The governor's talked about it. And, I think that the point is, well, but where do they wind up? You have the House has a select committee that they've created, and they're going to look at the issue, and they're kind of considering some proposals. And then you have the tax cut bill they're going to spend $1 million on a study that's going to be done by the economists and some outside consultants as to all the ramifications. I mean, the plain fact is that your local property taxes, they go to cities, they go to counties, to schools, and but sort of the parameters of how much you can charge and how people's value is calculated is controlled by the Constitution. So if you want to make any changes there, you have to pass a constitutional amendment. And so I think the goal remains to get something on the ballot for 2026. What it is clear, at least at this point in time, is that the governor once floated an idea of a rebate that would go out to homeowners by the end of this year. That never gained traction. So as of right now, that idea is dead. And so it's a question of, what will they do next? Now, it's important to note that the session actually starts early next year. It starts in January. So hopefully we'll have a good idea of where everything's going to land by March.
Well, Gary, are you finally able to get some rest now?
We'll see.
It was a long session for sure. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with more Florida Live after this. Welcome back into Florida Live. I'm Garrett Wymer, and thanks for joining us on this Tuesday afternoon, live on Fox Local and on YouTube. The controversy continuing over these 287G agreements, the agreements between local law enforcement and between ICE when it comes to immigration enforcement. We know that all 67 counties in Florida have already reached those agreements with the feds. Several cities have as well. The city of Miami considering that today, expected to vote on that any time now, but they've had hours of public comment. They are now in a lunch break right now, coming back in about 15 minutes to continue that ahead of a vote on this. The vote has already been postponed twice since April there in Miami, and we've heard from commissioners who have voiced split opinions when they've talked about it in the meetings before. Some of them have also recently referenced these anti-ICE protests that we've seen in Los Angeles. So it's unclear where things will go from here with that vote. Again, public comment lasted for 3 hours already. I want to play for you just a little bit of what we heard this afternoon in that commission meeting in the city of Miami.
One of the big reasons we were grateful to this city was how safe all law enforcement officers had made us feel. Police officers, state troopers, and other law enforcement officers treated us with respect, tolerance, and patience as we learned to navigate a new community with different customs and rules. My parents, who were not fluent in English, will feel nervous, but never fear being wrongfully detained or racially profiled or questioned about their immigration status. Coming from Venezuela, as many may know, where law enforcement does not protect community members, this treatment was eye-opening to what it really feels like to live in a true democracy and a free country. Voting yes on this agreement will be damaging to that trust that the community has on law enforcement. So I plead you to maintain this social contract and allow law enforcement to do their job, not have to have their job and try to protect people who are fearing them and what might happen to them or their families or their loved ones if they go into their communities.
I was born and raised in the county of Dade. I'm the proud daughter of Cuban and Colombian immigrants, and I'm a first-generation Miami girlie. I grew up protesting Fidel Castro's dictatorship in the streets of Miami and sometimes filling the Orange Bowl to oppose the tyranny. I love my city. It shaped me. It molded me. And our diversity isn't just beautiful, it drives our economy. That same diversity inspired me to be a curious girl, and I joined the Peace Corps, where I swore to uphold the Constitution. And I'm urging you to do the same. ICE is already violating our constitutional rights. My brother, on the other hand, he became a police officer, and as the sister of an officer, I know how much we already expect of our local police. They're first responders, social workers, mental health crisis managers, and now you want them to work as ICE agents too? It's not just unfair, it's unsustainable and fiscally irresponsible. It will shift the costs of federal immigration to local taxpayers, which I believe would not be a wise move for folks facing an election, maybe, TBD. It would be a big mistake, the city of Miami, to allow police officers to enforce the ICE agenda. The city of Miami residents would be responsible for training, overtime, and legal liability. And we know that they are, I'll leave it there.
I also want to thank all of the Miami-Dade residents that showed up today en masse to oppose the 287G agreement. Thank you, Commissioner Pardo, for being outspoken against it. I hope the rest of you are. And the residents have made such great points that I want to keep it short and just address some technical matters. So in terms of, when it comes to the law, right, the 2024 Florida status that include those established during the 2025 Special Session C, Statute 908.11 says that the sheriff or the chief correctional officer operating a county detention facility must enter into a written agreement with the United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement to participate in the immigration program established under the 287G section of the INA. Another speaker said that when you sign into this agreement, you are locked in. This is true because under the same statute, 908.11, only the State Board of Immigration can give you the authority to rescind this status. So you are locked in if you do this. Now, per the status that I just read you, you guys do not operate a county detention facility. You are under no obligation to sign into this binding agreement that you will later not be able to pull out, and that creates incredible administrative burdens for the city and liability. So I'm obviously in opposition. I think this is a really, really bad deal for the city. And also I want to reiterate, I may not like this, but every single person that is detained by City of Miami police is ultimately turned over to the county where they are vetted for ICE detention. So there is really no need for you to do this and no legal obligation for you to do it. And I'll end by saying the City of South Miami is currently in a lawsuit seeking declaratory judgment on this question. So please vote no or at least defer this. Thank you.
I received another text message that perhaps there are a few people still outside and may be willing to speak for only 1 minute. That would keep us here for an additional 10 minutes. I believe a couple of my colleagues would agree to that, but no. Just the folks that are outside, because it won't stop. It just, I know that. We have folks that are still in here. We will not be able to take everyone. I'm just trying to get the folks that have been standing outside for the past 3 hours, if they agree to speak for 1 minute. 1 minute. I won't go beyond 15 minutes because none of us have had anything to eat at all, including the folks that are standing outside. So if my sergeant in arms can go outside and see if they would agree to speak for 1 minute, because I understand that this is touching everyone's heart, and as you can see, everyone has spoken for 2 minutes and beyond, because I've had to say thank you every single time someone spoke. So if they agree for 1 minute, would I have a quorum to listen for another 15 minutes? Yes? Yes? Okay. I'm waiting to hear if they will agree to speak for one. Who's out there? What? No, I'm trying to get the folks that are outside. Okay, but are there other people outside? Okay, well, let me get the seniors that are outside. I was told that there are seniors outside. Anybody out there trying to get them? Camacho out, okay. Huh? I want the seniors and anyone who absolutely cannot come back. Seniors. And you're only speaking for a minute. Come on up while we wait. Wait. We're walking past more than 10 just inside here. I'm trying to get so then I still have to tell the folks outside that they can't speak. So I'm thinking that it's most fair to just break for lunch and let everybody come back, and I won't. So.
Yeah.
Right, but look how many of you it is, and I was trying to get the ones outside. I cannot get all of you to speak, so we are going to break for lunch, and we will be back at 3 o'clock. It's the fair at 3 o'clock. It's the fairest thing to do at 3 o'clock.
So we do expect them to come back at 3 o'clock for more public comment on that, and we will see where things go with that vote. We're going to take one last break here on Florida Live, but we'll be right back. The Florida Panthers are one win away from clinching a repeat. If they win tonight in Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals, they'll have won the championship for 2 straight years now. Now, if they lose, it'll head to Game 7. But we're hoping they clinch tonight, Game 6, 8 p.m. in Sunrise. Here's what some of the players had to say about it.
Yeah, we have that advantage. Playing an elimination game at home here again in this situation. It's no secret, Cup's in the building. It's going to be the toughest test, biggest game. We're just excited to be back home, and we're excited to hopefully keep that going after last game. We think we've played pretty good hockey over the last, this whole series and the whole playoffs, but especially the last few. So we know the type of game we have to play and our start's important, and just building our game, hard gaps, heavy forecheck, on it and above it, all the stuff we talk about all year. It's going to be the simple, the better for us in these games, and I'm glad we have that experience.
Front right, Jordan.
Matthew, we've talked about how much Bob has meant to you guys over these last 3 playoff runs. Just his sense of calm in the room, just how much does it radiate among you guys, and how much is his presence, just knowing how calm he is and what he does, how much does that radiate throughout the room? Yeah, we would not be in this position without him. You just look at the body of work he's done over the since I've been here, regular season and postseason. He's been our backbone. He's been, the most important piece for us, and he's just been incredible each and every night. Gives us a chance every single night. Whether, even if you look back to Game 2 of the series, we did not play very well in front of them in the first 10 minutes, and they score 3 goals, and he just shuts the door the rest of the way, basically. So we're so lucky to have him. He is such a very important piece to what we have, and then his calmness and how he works and how he prepares, and even the stuff he's doing there today. He's just such a professional and somebody that I lean on a lot, and I've learned so much from, even though he's a goalie.
All the way on the left, George.
This one's for both of y'all. Does it matter where you guys play? I mean, it's going to be crazy in there tomorrow, but you guys seem to be pretty good at quieting down road crowds.
Yeah, we don't really try to think where we are, where we play, but obviously it's fun to be at home, have the home energy, have the home crowd, and be able to play in front of them. So I'm sure it's going to be a loud building, and we're looking forward for it.
Yeah, I'm excited to play at home. It's a great opportunity, and our fans have given us so much love and support and momentum this year that they deserve this type of game at home. So we're excited to play in front of them.
Front left, David.
Hey guys, it could be for either of you. You guys have scored multiple goals in the first period of every game this series. How important has that been, sort of, to dictate the tempo of the game and make them chase you? They've barely led throughout this series.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge to start well, and obviously we want to, keep doing that. But at the same time, it's a long game, and we've seen during the series that we have to play good the whole 60 minutes, and obviously we want to have a good start and feel good and keep building on that. But at the same time, we have to be dialed for the whole 60 minutes.
Right side, third row.
Good chance to send those Florida Panthers fans home happy tonight. Again, it is a home game in Game 6 with a chance to repeat as Stanley Cup champions. 8 o'clock puck drop. So we will be pulling for those Panthers. That's going to do it for us here on Florida Live this afternoon. Appreciate you joining us today here on Fox Local and on YouTube. We are here weekdays, 2 p.m. on Fox Local and YouTube for Florida Live. So we appreciate you joining us. Hope you have a great rest of your afternoon. If you're joining us here on Fox Local Orlando, we'll see you right back here at 4 o'clock with Fox 35 News Plus.